You guys basically just gave up your careers, sold your house, sold everything, packed up your suitcases.
Exactly.
Perfect shot at
Oh my god! Oh, so cute!
This is your crazy dance.
Stars fall at my feet, keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me?
สวัสดีค่ะ Hello everyone Tiger Gift
And phone to Joe. Hope all is well. How are we doing? We're doing great. Thank you. What a beautiful day today. Sun is finally shining. We are heading over to Milano with some meet up with some subscribers for breakfast. And later on, we're going to have a little barbecue over at our house with some friends of ours. So, what's the name of this restaurant again, Gift?
กินเส้นเบสโล
We're here with Anthony and Maura, and they are here. They're getting ready to head to Bangkok. And then from Bangkok, you guys are going to Australia.
Melbourne,
And then you're going to your final, what you call your final destination.
Vietnam.
An interesting story. Maura is actually from Vietnam originally. Left when she was 3 years old and spent almost 50 years in the U.S. And now she's heading back and she's going back to her roots. So there's lunch, pork curry with rice, egg. And Gift just has the pork curry with rice.
Seafood tom yum.
There's Anthony's lunch, seafood. What is that? Seafood tom yum?
Yeah.
So what do you got there, Maura?
A pork curry, I guess. With
Pork curry
noodles.
with noodles, yeah.
Okay, so I was adopted in Vietnam, and I was born in 1969. And the father who adopted me was in the service back in 1970. And when he was in the service, he worked in the labs. So he always visited the nurses and visited the children in the orphanage. And he fell in love with me. And he told his wife at the time that he was going to bring a little girl home. And when he got done with the service. So when his service was over in a year, 1971, he brought me back over to the States. And back to Vietnam in 2019 to do some research.
See, like the orphanage you came from.
The orphanage. So just to see if maybe I did have some blood relatives, or they couldn't find any information whatsoever. But they found we found the orphanage. It still existed, which was so surreal because the nun at the time, she told us she wasn't there at the time I was there, but she knew the history back then whenever I was there. And she was running the place at the time, and she gave us a tour of the orphanage. And it was so surreal because we had pictures and compared. So we had pictures of like the swing sets that are in the courtyard whenever I was a little girl, and it was the same. And then we realized when we went to the entrance gate of this orphanage, which faces the Mekong River, when my dad brought me over in 71, he took a picture of me standing outside the gate. And then when I looked at that, I looked up at my husband and I said, look, there's a steeple.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, that's the same steeple, same church. This is the entrance of the orphanage. So I took a picture next to me then and did a side by side. So that was so surreal. And you could tell identical. I mean,
I'll give you the pictures, Joe.
obviously the gate's entrance had changed.
But yeah, the building is the same.
The building is the same.
The tree
I mean,
lines
back then the tree was palm trees, but now it was like this big, huge oak tree, I think, or something like that. But
When we were trying to get the info, she said one of the 3 nuns that was running it back then is still alive, but she's in an old folks home and completely
Just
senile.
didn't
We can't get any
know.
information from her.
so anyway, that's what made partly our decision is let's go back, let's try to live out my culture a little bit, and so this is in Can Tho.
Okay. And that's where you were.
That's where I was born. in Can Tho.
Oh, so they go back to the roots.
So that's why we're going to go back and experience the culture.
You
And
just gotta go around town promoting,
Yeah,
Ancestry.com and
Yeah.
DNA tests. Just figuring it out. Be like, here, free test. You'll find your relatives pretty quick, right? Just give 100 free
Who
tests out, and you'll
knows?
find an uncle or two.
I almost did order a couple before we came, because we've already done it. She's in the system, but
They're not.
yeah, they're not.
That's the thing is, like, anybody who's from, like, especially in Asia, like that's just from far away. But you can just get people tested, send it back, and they'll connect the dots.
So, do you speak Vietnamese?
No, unfortunately not, because, being raised by an American family since I was 3 years old, I mean, you're talking, I don't want to say 49 years ago. So I've been, raised in America and learned all the American traditions, and they didn't speak it, obviously, so I learned all.
So, were you able to do you have your Vietnamese citizenship? Were you able to get that? And were you able to do that without?
Yes, we got a Vietnamese citizenship we hired a lawyer and paid a lot of money in order to do that. But since he said I was born there, I was able to get Vietnamese citizenship. Actually, it's a visa, right?
Your passport.
It's a
You have your passport.
It's a Vietnamese passport.
Vietnamese passport. So I'm able to get in.
Okay. So, if you don't mind me asking, what did the lawyer charge you to do all of this?
I took care of all of it. She doesn't know.
So you won't disclose that information
I'm not gonna disclose that information.
for anyone wanting to maybe.
But I would like to say thank you to Yoon Global in Saigon.
There you go. Yes.
But it was expensive.
Well,
What's expensive to somebody else
Yeah.
to, and what's the value of it? I mean, so it was worth it.
it was worth it because we can now we can move. So
So you got a 5-year visa, right?
5-year
Attached
visa
on
exemption.
because-
Yeah.
Visa exemption is what they call it. And you got a lifetime, of course, because you got the passport. Wow, what an amazing story. So do you think when you guys go back to Vietnam, you're going to try to find some blood relatives? Is that one of your goals?
Continue to
We'll
look.
continue to look. We'll see. Never know.
See what the next year turns up.
I mean, all I know from now, when I went on the 23andMe, the ancestry stuff, I'd have a few distant cousins that
Yep.
popped up.
That all went to America.
That
But
all
it was
went to
like,
America.
America.
So that's what we were hoping. Maybe they would
like
contact
fourth
me.
cousins, fifth cousins, like way.
Sure.
Wow, that's going to be a journey and a half for you guys to go on to. Very interesting story. Very interesting story. We're going to keep in contact with you guys because we want to know.
And we will definitely keep in contact with you.
We want to know how all of this
How this turns out.
how this turns out. You guys basically just gave up your careers, sold your house, sold everything, packed up your suitcases,
Exactly.
and said, we're heading to Vietnam. And we'll figure out the rest from there.
That's right. Left everything.
It'll
Wow.
all work out.
It'll all work
I
out.
hope.
Positive thinking.
Well, you'll hoping to be a teacher, right?
Yeah, hopefully, but we'll see.
And what was your career?
At the time, well, when I left my career as a phlebotomist at a big major hospital in the U.S.
And for the folks that don't know what that is,
A phlebotomist is drawing blood.
so you think you may try to see if you could get a job like that in Vietnam?
Maybe if I can slip through, or
Do it without speaking the language.
yeah, if I can do it without speaking the language. Hoping maybe the longer I'm around and I find friends that can help me and teach me, and the more I hear it, I'll pick up.
Well, your biggest challenge is going to be everyone's going to try to talk to you in Vietnamese,
Exactly.
and you're
They're
going to
look at
be
me and assume that I know. It's
But I-
funny because my husband knows it more than I do.
yeah.
I like languages, so
So how many languages do you speak?
fluently English, fluent. Dabbling, I tried to learn about 8, but that's why I can't be fluent in anything because I can't focus on one.
Yeah. No, I understand that fully. So Klaus is back in Thailand, so just came back last week. We're going to say hello to him real fast. Haven't seen him since he's been back. Talked to him on the phone. But how's it going? Welcome back.
Thank you.
Oh, there's Bella.
Yeah, Bella.
Time goes by so fast.
Hello. Hello.
Look at Bella. She gets to eat better than Klaus.
Many times. I have beans in can.
You get, what do you get? Canned beans?
Yeah.
And Bella gets fresh fish.
Yeah, and I must open the can alone.
Here in Almanau Beach. No one really here.
He was up there looking straight down at us. He looked like a stuffed animal. He doesn't look like real. He said,
Uh-oh.
Oh, so cute.
We're here at the little petting zoo here on Wing 5. Just across from Almanau Beach. How are you?
ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you so much for watching our video นะคะ Love you all นะคะ รักทุกคนเลยนะ บ๊ายบายนะคะ สวัสดีค่ะ